隨住房屋供應增加，本國嘅房地產市場正面臨住一系列嘅變動。而加拿大央行嘅利率政策調整，係咪能夠刺激市場並進一步影響樓價走勢呢？此外，美國嘅關稅威脅可能會推高建築材料嘅成本，進而影響住新屋嘅建設。咁呢啲嘅因素將對首次置業嘅人士同埋有意入市嘅民眾產生點樣嘅影響呢？喺今晚嘅財經一週，我哋揾嚟專家同大家分析一下。
根據加拿大房地產協會嘅最新數據顯示，新上市嘅房屋數量舊年12月增長咗11%，反映本國嘅房屋供應有所改善。然而，儘管供應有所增加，市場依然受到多重因素嘅影響。卑斯大學城市經濟與房地產中心主任 Tom Davidoff 指出，加拿大央行嘅利率政策同埋加元匯率等因素，仍將是未來房地產市場發展嘅關鍵挑戰。
As to whether there'll be rate cuts going forward, the problem is the loonie is starting to get divorced from the dollar in the U.S. And, that wedge is a bit unpleasant. It's already pretty far apart. So that may lead to some reluctance. We've seen some inflation in the U.S. They're probably not going to cut rates. I'm not sure we're going to want to get too much lower than the U.S. in that way. So that's a risk to continued rate cuts. So one thing I can say is that on the commercial side, banks are certainly more cautious. Some banks have just stopped giving loans for real estate development because they've been taking some losses on their existing book of business, and I think they see a not great outlook.
隨住樓價上漲同埋貸款成本嘅增加，佢認為對年輕人嚟講，買樓嘅壓力令佢哋更傾向於選擇長期租賃。呢個趨勢可能會繼續推動租賃市場嘅發展。
And when prices are high relative to rents, that indicates that people who, just sort of work for a living are going to have a very hard time purchasing property. Because interest rates have risen somewhat from their lows, and because immigration has slowed so much, I suspect the ratio of rents to prices may rise over time, and that could make affordability a little bit better. So it certainly looked like, as of a couple of years ago, the fraction of people who would ever buy a house was going to fall.
對於美國關稅帶嚟嘅威脅 ，Tom Davidoff 認為需要取決於徵收商品嘅範圍同埋本國係咪會再次作出降息嘅決定。因此，整體而言，市場未來嘅走向尚未明朗。
Yeah, it depends what gets tariffs. Lumber is probably not great for British Columbia. If there's general tariffs, that's devastating for Canada generally. The good news is it might lead to interest rate cuts, but recessions are not good for housing markets, and we have not seen the big job losses that could come yet. So no, I think the housing market could really suffer. Certainly rents would continue to decline, and prices might as well.
本國嘅房地產市場依然面臨住好多嘅挑戰，置業者需要密切留意住市場嘅動態。好啦，今晚嘅財經一週就講到呢一度。